is we're going to make a naan bread, or we're going to make some ciabatta rolls, okay? Some nice Italian-style rolls. So into our bowl, we're going to put in the flour, the whole packet of flour into the bowl. And then we're going to put in the yeast. Now the yeast, you need to flick this packet to make sure that all the yeast comes down to the bottom of the packet, because inside this yeast sachet is the correct amount of yeast for 500 grams. So it's important to make sure you do that. If you just cut off the top, you could lose some of the yeast. So you don't want that to happen. So that goes in, like so. And then, I'm just going to leave that lid open. Then we're just going to stir that through like that. Stir that through just for about 10 seconds, and then I'm going to add a little bit of salt. Now, you nearly always add salt to your bread. In olden days, they used to put a lot of salt in to preserve it, but we're just going to put some in for flavouring. About a teaspoon, a good shake of the salt in that goes. Now, you saw that I put the yeast in and then I put the salt in, yes? I didn't put them both in together because yeast and salt, if they sit on top of each other, there's a chemical reaction and we don't get such good bread. So we always need to make sure that we put in the yeast and stir, put in the salt and stir, or of course you can put in the salt and stir and then put in the yeast and stir. It doesn't matter, but you need to keep those a wee bit separate if you can, because yeast and salt sitting on top of each other, you don't get such good bread. So mix that in thoroughly, like so. Now, I've got my water weighed out here, or measured out here. The girls have been measuring out the water, so those of you that start off with the bread, you'll see the bread already made. The water already measured out for you. And I'm going to add some oil. Now, when you're making, I'm going to start off with the ciabatta rolls. When you're making the ciabatta rolls, you could use any kind of olive oil. Olive oil comes in different grades. The darker the olive oil, the purer the oil is. So that's the sort of olive oil we'd use maybe on a salad, or if we were cooking, if we were eating it raw. But when we're cooking with it, we usually use a lighter oil. So we're going to have maybe a medium grade one. This is just the extra virgin. It's not very expensive, but I'm going to put a little bit of that onto my water. So you can see I'm very carefully measuring that out. A little bit of oil, about 2 tablespoons, just on top of that. And I'm going to put that in to my bowl. So I have to get both of these things ready at the same time before I switch on the mixer. If I didn't do that, I would be trying to measure this out right at the last minute. So you need to get both of those ready to start off with. And then we're going to put all of this liquid in at one time, in it goes, and then switch on the mixer. So about a minute to make a nice smooth dough. I think that's just about done. Need to switch that off before you lift it up, otherwise the mixture goes everywhere. I've done that one before now. So mix that off. Now the dough is a wee bit thicker because we're going to use a piping bag just to shape that, so we'll put that over to one side. And there's our dough. Yes, you can see our dough. Looks quite like a traditional bread dough. We'll just pull it down from the edge of the bowl with our spatula. Sticking away to me there. Put that over there. There we go. So we can see that it's ready to work with. Now, to make our ciabatta rolls, what we're going to do is we're going to use a piping bag. Got some disposable piping bags here, so take that off. And we're going to, if I can get this open, this is the bit where you've been touching the oil and your hands are all oily, and we have to try and get the bag open. Might have to pass this to a member of the audience to say, oh, no, I've managed to do it. So there we go. Now just put that in over the edge of my jug. That might make it a little bit easier, just so that and then I'm going to put my mixture inside there. Like so. Today I'm just going to make a few of these because obviously we don't need, just need to give you the idea, because this is one of the dishes that you could have a shot at doing. Put that over there. And we have a baking tray. Now I've got a little bit of oil in the bottom of my bowl. So what I'll do is I'll take a little bit of that oil and I can use it just to wipe my baking tray. Now, because I'm going to make a big ciabatta rolls, I'm going to cut off a nice big bottom section, of the bottom of my bag. But before I do that, if you wanted to today, you could also just trim a little bit off and make some little breadsticks. You'll have seen us do that before. So if you wanted to have a go at doing breadsticks, oh, that was me, wasn't it? I just realised what I did there. You could just pipe a couple of little breadsticks if you wanted to have a little go at that, like that, if you wanted to do that. But actually what we're doing today is we're going to cut a big section off. Just showing you that, because some of you might want to do that. I'm going to cut a big section off because we're going to make the rolls, yes? So we just do... So we can make some nice big rolls like that. Now, you've all seen the generation game. Yes, so you're all going to have a little shot at doing that. And obviously, if you wanted to, you could do them a long shape, like that. You could do them that shape. Either of those would work nicely. And what you're going to do is you're going to do a batch between two. You're going to be working in twos, so you can have a little shot at doing those. There we go, like that. And then you can brush those with oil and you can put them into the oven. They're going to take a little time to rise, and Neil, the chef, see Neil at the back there, he's going to bake off all of the things that you make today. So it's really great that